Aurelio, can't beat around the bush. That's got to feel like quite a bit of a gut punch to draw a game like that when you must have felt that 3 points were imminent.
Well, it's only a gut punch, Joey, because we were up with a couple of minutes to go, but on the second half performance, we didn't really deserve to win the game, in my opinion. I think a draw is probably a fair result. I must say that that first half was some of the best football we played all year, and dominant enough in every aspect, apart from scoring a second goal. And then when you don't, it's normal that they come out in the second half and try to change it. And we struggled. We struggled to keep the ball. We were too impatient. We didn't move the ball quick enough. We were a little bit slow to the duels, and struggled with their set pieces because they delivered excellent set pieces. And that was the crux of the second half, probably crux of the game.
With those things in the second half, do you think that was because Auckland started doing things they weren't doing in the first half? Your players stopped doing things they were in the first half, or a mix?
A bit of both. They made some changes, and don't want to use it as an excuse because they struggled in the first half with the heat. We actually dominated the game reasonably well, and then it was a complete reversal. So it is what it is. But in saying that, we still got to be pleased with the performance in the first half, and we just have to maintain that for the majority of the 90 minutes.
Tough end to the game for Patrick with the free kick. Have you had a word to him? I guess your initial reaction to that?
No, not yet. Look, we know young keeper, first senior games this season. I said at the beginning of the season, we know he's going to make mistakes, and he has to learn, has to grow, and you better be a green tomato rather than a red tomato. So growing is part of it. The more you're in there, the more games you play, the better you're going to become. That's not just him, that's with all the young players. As always, we always want the finished product, don't we? But it's not the reality of sport, and he's obviously going to be, not just him, but all the younger players. The more games they play, they will become different players and better players as time goes on.
Do you keep backing him in with Derby next week?
Just finish the game, we'll have to have a sleep.
Is it a difficult one though when you've got someone as experienced as Jamie, who, as I'm sure, knows his role there, but you know that you can... And
I think we made and look, I don't know what's going to happen next week. We've got a short turnaround, but we did make a decision at the beginning of the season. This is what we're going to do. So we either... And you don't know what's going to happen in terms of any particular game. There may be a change, but we made the decision. No, we're going to go ahead, and we know we're going to we'll have to put up with some of those errors. He's just got to grow. He's got to learn from it and be better next time.
Were you satisfied that Steve was offside with the one that was disallowed?
Sorry?
Were you satisfied that Steve was offside? With
I haven't seen a replay, but obviously they don't get VAR wrong too often, I think. So I haven't seen it on the replay, so it was offside. Could have been just marginally right.
Yeah, it seemed pretty narrow.
Yeah. Well, we got lucky as well in terms of their goal, their second goal that they scored. That was, I don't know what that was for. Was that offside or? Oh, right, okay. Yep. So it was a bit of a strange game. Lots of actions, lots of funny things happening, especially in that second half.
I guess, and I mean, putting aside, obviously disappointing you didn't get 3 points, but I guess you're sort of developing a decent form line. Like if you've only lost one of your last four, is that sort of something you can sort of build on, I guess?
They're a reasonable team. Well, they're a reasonable team. They're on top of the table. They haven't lost yet. As I said, they're dangerous. They've got some clever players. They're dangerous, obviously, with the set pieces. They play some decent football, so they're on top for a reason. But I must say that we were really up for the game today, and the benchmark again for me was that first half. So we had, and that was for me that was my only, I don't know when to call it, apprehension going up against Auckland to see actually where we are, where we stand. We've got the 4 games that we have won have been for the teams that are on the bottom. So this was going to be a really good test. And for me, it shows more than enough that we're able to match it and to be somewhere in the mix. And next week with the derby, it's going to be exactly the same thing.
And with all your injuries, I guess, to be the first team to not only take points off Auckland, but also be the first team to take the lead against Auckland, is that something nice to sort of put your feather in your cap, I guess?
No, I don't see that as anything. Those stats are absolutely not important to me. It's about how we prepared, and we prepared very well this week. And we were up for a really good fight, and we did that for the, certainly, as I said, the first half, but we dipped away for whatever reason in the second half. So there are a hell of a lot of positives, and we just have to continue to get better. Just way too many turnovers that were unnecessary in that second half.
Hey, just wanted to ask you about Medden's first goal. It looked like a really nice striker's finish,
Yep.
getting him good spaces in the box. Just wanted to ask you about his kind of development so far this season. How well do you think he's been going?
Yeah, he's again another young boy who's learning the game. I think I mentioned last week. He's had, or the week before, he's had 12 games, or around about 12 games of MPL2, and all of a sudden him and Arion, they're leading the line. He's 17 years old, Medin. So he always has a knife for goal. He's got you haven't seen it yet, but he's got a really nice shot on him. And today, with the ball from Andreas, he's actually making the right runs in the right areas. So, and that was aspects of his games that weren't totally clear, because if you're a striker, you've got to try to run between the 3 white poles rather than running away from the goal. So he has a heck of a lot of improvement, a heck of a lot. And he's only 17. In 2 years' time with games, he can be a real special player.
Are you a chance to get anyone back for the derby from?
I think I mentioned to Joey the other day, it's on a week-to-week basis with most of them. I don't think we'll have anyone back at this stage.
And so, I mean, I know with your answer just then, but with Lex, is there any?
Look, he's doing a heck of a lot of work, but he's always just feeling something. So he needs to be clear of that. He had a scan, I think, was about a week ago, and there was still something floating around there, the back of the knee, that tendon behind the knee there. But he's able to actually complete a lot of work without the short, sharp actions of football. So hopefully within the week, he's back to the football within the group. And then my thinking is the New Year's Eve, but again, we'll just have to wait and see.
I know it could be a bit of like a question, how long's a piece of string, but is the club confident that he can get to a level eventually where he'll be...
I think we all are. I think we all are confident, and we have to be. He's had such a long career, and in my opinion, 33 is not old. So I know we can get him back onto the pitch. I'm confident. I'm confident with the staff. The staff are excellent. So it's just one of those things that, you hit an obstacle, and he's trying to jump over that obstacle, but as he's about to jump, he actually hits into another obstacle. So I think generally most players, they can go through a whole career with very, very little injuries, and you get to that age, 30, especially 30, 31, going to 32, you start to feel everything, because that's years and years of contact, years of training, flights, all the rest of it. So call it the hump. If you can get over that hump, he'll be absolutely fine.
And Aurelio, we now look ahead. Christmas Derby week. It's always a big week in just the A-League's calendar. How do you approach it? Do you embrace the occasion? Do you build the game up, or is it just another week?
It's never another week. As much as we try to keep calm with it, it's a big game. We saw that what happened in the last derby, and we're asleep for half an hour, and they've got a lot of quality that can hurt you. So we really have to be right from the outset, really switched on and aggressive. Try to take away as much space and time. And it's just never a normal week. Although probably the good thing is it's going to be such a short week for us. We'll go back into tomorrow, have Tuesday off, and then a couple of days before the game.
And no further injury headaches for you to worry about from this game?
Joe, as far as I know, everyone was fine. A couple obviously struggled with a bit of heat, but they should be fine. Haven't heard anything yet, so.